What's up, teammates? Back at you. I know you saw it, and I know what you expect me to say that we lost and it's all Minshew's fault, and that's not true at all. It's not true at all. This loss is not Minshew's fault. This loss is all on Luke Getsky. His offense was terrible. Why was his offense terrible? Because he didn't run the offense that he said he was going to run. I don't understand why that happened. To me, if I was Antonio Pierce, I'd be hellfire pissed off. I myself am upset because what the hell was that? That's not what we planned on for the season. That's not what, once we drafted Brock Bowers, what were we supposed to be? We was going to run heavy, right? We was going to 12-man personnel, right? We were going to do heavy play action. We control the ball. We was going to do it in chunks. We was going to eat up the clock. We were going to let our defensive rest. We were going to control the field, have a quarterback who's a game manager. What did we do? We went out and went and shotgun 45 out of 55 fucking plays. Sorry. It's just ridiculous. That is nowhere near what was supposed to happen. And I'm sure Antonio Pierce's head is spinning right now. How could it not be? This, what we got today? This, the way the offense went? That is not what it was supposed to be. And I'm not talking about how bad it was because it was bad. I'm talking about how it was drawn up. It wasn't even drawn up well. It wasn't thought out well. It was completely different than everything they practiced as far as I know. Because the whole thing, the whole off season was run first, get under the center, hand off the ball, get under the center, play action, go deep, get under the center, play action, hit them short. Shotgun when it's trying to go deep, get back under center, play the game of football. That's what we was going to get. New York Football Giants controlled offense. Luke Getsky, 12 personnel, chunking yards up down the field. Was Minshew Magic, master of the 12-man personnel. Those stats are out there too. So that's what they practiced, I assume. That's what they said they were going to do. That's what was supposed to happen. That was going to be their identity. We were supposed to have a team who had built or is going to build an identity based on what our offense is going to look like. This is not what our offense is supposed to look like. This is not the dream. This is not what they practiced, as far as I'm concerned, because this is not what they said they were practicing. Maybe it's a big surprise to us because they were trying to fool us all. But Shotgun Minshew is not what we were sold on. We were sold on 12 man. And how much 12 man did we see? Not enough. Not enough, in my opinion. Not enough, in my opinion, to put all the blame on Gardner Minshew. Although I've said that I didn't want him to be the starter, I also said I'm going to buy in to what Getsky's thinking as far as his playmaking ability. And it just doesn't work with what he said he was going to do with him. You're going to use him, conservatively. It was just going to be a quarterback who was a game controller. 45 snaps in the shotgun is not for a game controller quarterback. That's a gunslinger. We don't need 45 shotgun snaps. That's not what it was supposed to be. Now, this that is why it's Getsky's fault. This is why it's Minshall's fault. It's Minshall's fault because he couldn't execute a 12-man offense any damn way. His shortcomings are his fault. His lack of ability to keep the play correct is his fault. And they had to protect him from that. They had to protect him from the fact that he can't read a football field by putting him in shotgun. And by picking him and changing your whole game plan for what you thought would be extra mobility that ended up in 4 sacks anyway would drive me is driving me insane, and I believe would drive Antonio Pierce insane as well, because it's just not what we were sold on. Remember, I said as long as the product looks good. It didn't. It didn't look good. Not doing it with Minshew and the shotgun. That's not what we were sold on. That's not what the team was built for. That's what they said it was. That's not what they said it was built for. But because they went with Minshew, they had to change the whole offensive scheme. It seemed like they had to even not seem like they had to shrink the playbook drastically. Cause I mean, no play action. I mean, I don't really. I only looked on paper, and the paper doesn't show if it was a play action, if it wasn't a shotgun or a run. So if it's a run, it doesn't say play action run, or it may say play action run, and there just was none. I don't remember. I'm not sure, but I know it didn't indicate to me when I was looking at it that if it was a run, did it come out of play action? So, with that being said, too many plays out of shotgun, and we changed the whole thing we trained for all summer because Gardner Minshew needed to be in the shotgun because he's not a good quarterback. And we were going to go with that. And now we see where he got us. It got us with Gardner Minshew and the Minshew mistakes. And it's just, we knew it's coming, right? We know it's coming. We just hope for more magic than mistakes. And it was nothing but mistakes. It just really was. If you look at the game, I'm not even trying to like throw him under the barrel. I'm just look at the game. Look at the performance as a quarterback. Look at the things that he did that just didn't work because of his lack of abilities. He again just leaving the pocket too early, not making the right reads. I mean, say what you will about Aiden O'Connell, but if it's 3rd and 7 and Davante Adams runs a streak route right in the middle of the field to the first down line and turns around, the ball will be there. You know, that is not going to require Davante Adams to go, hey, look, I'm here. Look, me right here, wide open in the middle of the field for the first down. I don't know if you guys saw that play, but that happened. Wide open in the middle field for the first down when we were on a decent drive that we needed to sustain, which we need to sustain all drives. So I'm not going to say that that one missed pass destroyed the whole game. It's just an example of Gardner Minshew's lack of ability to be a quarterback. Because that is absolutely ridiculous. He was wide open in the middle of the field, arms waving. But again, that's just because that's what he does. He doesn't have the quarterback ability to pull stuff like that off. It's simple quarterback skills, but he doesn't have those Period. He has good football skills. He has the ability to make plays, but he doesn't have the ability to be consistent. And the inconsistency is so destructive. And that part is his fault. You know, putting him in a situation where he had to do that type of performing is Getsky's fault and poor offensive planning. But poor execution while he's in that position is Minshew's fault. And it's just I'm not badgering on that one. I'm not trying to, and I'm not saying that if Aiden was playing, we'd have won. I'm not going to say that at all. I'm not saying if Aiden was playing, he'd have had less sacks. I'm not saying that anything would have been better if Aiden was playing. There's no reason to think or say that because what is what is, and you cannot project reality on what has really happened. That being said, the reality of it is that Gardner Minshew didn't execute very well this game. And like I said before, I think he could survive one interception, but not two. And I said I think he could survive an interception and a fumble. I don't think the general media is going to be calling for his head right now. The Raider Nation, we're probably going to go 50-50 on it right now. I guess a lot of people are going to be yelling to see, I told you so, we should have had Aiden thing, and I'm not going to do that, whether I feel that way or not, because, like I said, I can't say just because we just started Aiden, we won that game guaranteed. That's not reality. So, what I can say is, I feel like a football team in general has a better chance with a quarterback at that position than a football player. And I'll leave that at that. So, I, I I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying not to jump on Minshew and his game because I don't want to just harp on it, right? Now I want to go to the silver lining of the game, of his performance, and I'm trying to find the best way to give him as much props as possible. There's just not really much out there. He did get the ball to Madsen, and Madsen made a nice move to get into the end zone, but you know, outside of that, there wasn't a lot of good productivity. He did have decent numbers. He was able to get the ball to the open receiver when he saw him. You know, he is able to do those things. But the Minshew mistakes, man, they're just there. And it's not just the obvious mistakes that the average football fan sees. We're talking about the bad handoff, the bad ball placement, the mistiming, the forgetting which route is the hot route. I mean, that's why when Davante Adams had his hands up wide open, like here I am in the middle of the field, because he's the hot route. He was just doing the stream straight up the middle. I mean, and then he turned and he put his hands up like, where's the damn football? And Minshew's looking somewhere else. Anyway, that's not Minshew's game. He shouldn't be in the shotgun 45 times. We shouldn't be making our offense molded around Minshew because we think escapability is such a big asset. Because Minshew mobility got him 4 sacks and 5 rushing yards on 3 attempts. So we sacrifice all our efficiency, all our timing, all our play action, all our under center work for mobility. You people out there who just say Minshew won the job because of his mobility, what did he get us? Again, not being negative, just trying to state what actually happened. And what actually happened is the mobility that he was supposed to show never came through, and it didn't help. And that is what we sold Pierce on, or they sold Pierce on, is that the mobility was going to be more important than the accuracy and the intelligence. And it did not play out that way at all. And there we are. We're stuck with that. Will they be calling for his head on national television? I hope not. Because I believe there's some not there's the hint of frustration. I'm not saying that there's the usual game frustration, not locker room turmoil, but there's the frustration of damn, I was standing there wide open. How could you miss me? There's the damn Gardner, that wasn't the play. We were supposed to go this direction. You went that direction. And I'm saying that Aiden could have made those mistakes as well. We just know that Aiden doesn't generally make those mistakes. Those type of Minshew mistakes. Not generally. We do know Aiden's general mistakes is overreading the field and throwing the ball when he thinks no one's looking and someone's looking. That's Aiden's thing. We know that that's how his interceptions come. And that's his shortcoming. And Gardner Minshew has his shortcoming, and those were just on display this game. And with those shortcomings being on display, is that going to cause a lot of trauma? No, I don't think so. Do I think the regular post-game frustration is there? Yes. The fact that the fact that we got the worst out of Minshew this game doesn't help at all. Like I said, when the receivers were open, Minshew hit the open receivers. We shouldn't have been in shotgun trying to help Minshew find open receivers. That's the point. It's not that how poor Minshew's execution was, it's how poor the plan that he had to execute was. And that is because I don't know what we were training for all season and why we were saying 12 personnel if we were going to come out and shotgun that many times. But I don't know. I'm looking down here at my notes to get to something positive. Because I don't want to just get out here and blame Minshew and say if we had Aiden, the whole world would be shiny. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is these are the mistakes he's made. This is what we did to accommodate him as far as his shortcomings as a quarterback, and this is what we have to show for it. And it could go different next week, and hopefully it does. I don't see why it would, but that doesn't mean that it can't. But it's hard to think that it would against what could be an even better defense. That being said, if we go 0-2 and he has another 2 turnover game, it's going to be so much turmoil. It's just going to be Raider life all over again. It's just going to be Raider drama like you've never seen before. Well, or like we always see, like we've always seen before, right? one way or the other, that's going to be coming down the track if Gardner Minshew can't put it together next game. Because it didn't even look good. Remember, I said all he has to do is make it look good. But he couldn't make that look good because it was a bad plan. You know, you can't make a beautiful carving with bad marble. It's just going to fall apart. So the combination of the two coming together made for just a really bad offensive showing for the Las Vegas Raiders. Hopefully they change the offense back to what it was supposed to be, back to what they sold us on. I just really can't believe we came out in shotgun that many times. I don't know. I'm gonna put that down. Let's go to something else. Let's go to something happier. How about that whole Christian Wilkerson guy? And we got to have him on our team. He'll be fun to watch for the rest of the season. That's some silver lining right there. What our defense did was good. What happened is they got tired and they got caught slipping. It happens when you get tired. If you're a great boxer, ask anybody. When you get tired, you're going to get caught slipping. They got tired. They got caught slipping. They were frustrated, but that whole at the end of the game fight frustration, that wasn't the Raiders. That wasn't even the Raiders' fault at all. And once they get back to look at the film, hopefully they'll do the film and look at it, objectively, not subjectively, because it's the Raiders and it's Jack Jones. Just look at the fact that was it Merrick? No, it was Epps. Epps. He was being double teamed by two wide receivers. They had already called the touchdown, and they were still pushing him towards the back of the end zone. And Jones went over to say, "Hey, it's over, it's over," and then that's when it turned into something. But you ain't gonna be pushing my man out of bounds with two dudes on one dude, pushing him out of bounds. The play is already over, and then they gonna start static about it. And then of course they are frustrated. I'm not saying that wasn't part of it, but they we were a powder keg. They did start the little spark, and then that's what came out of it. But I could see why they were frustrated. They were tired. They were on the field too much. They were wondering why they were in the shotgun so much, watching they doing all these 4 and outs, 5 and outs, 7 and outs. Even on the on the touchdown drive, I think it was only a 7 play drive. He wore the defense out because we were in shotgun so much. So it's a combination of bad plan and a bad executioner. So I'm not blaming Minshew. It's not all his fault. I'm not blaming Getsy. It's not all his fault because he did design plays to get the receivers open. I mean, he did throw for 237 yards. It's just that he made the mistakes when we didn't need the mistakes made. And I'm not saying that Aiden would have made mistakes as well. What I'm saying is the mistakes that he made are mistakes that don't need to be made. If you know what the hot route is, if you don't need to miss your wide receiver with his hands wide open saying, "Throw me the ball." This is where the first down marker is. If you have a talented quarterback, you don't have to go in shotgun the whole game and tell the defense what you're doing the whole damn game. And then we're going to say we had a bad run. Well, of course we had a bad running game. The defense is assuming we're passing, and if we're going to run it out of the shotgun, that's running out of shotgun is just meant to catch somebody off guard. You don't run in the shotgun when you're in the shotgun all the damn time anyway. Anyway, the efficiency wasn't there. The play calling was suspect to say the least. we were supposed to do and what we actually did were completely different things. Uh, it didn't look good, and you know, it can't get too much worse, right? I mean, one touchdown, one interception, one fumble, right? Two bads and a good. Hopefully, it's just you can get it to one bad and a good. Two bads and two goods would actually almost be better, but let's not find two bads and no goods next game because that's going to shatter us. I got more to talk about. There's more down here. It's been 25 minutes, and I can use some of this information for the next episode, and it'll go better with next episode. Like I'm a next episode. This is something for real. I see that my camera's shaking. I'm gonna do this correctly next time. I'm gonna figure out a better way to get this stable. So y'all have to leave that in the comments. But I hate the fact that I did a show this long and I really don't know how to end it, other than the fact that it's gonna get it. It can't get worse, right? And I'm just end it with that. The silver lining is it can't get worse. Not for Gardner Minshew, not for our play calling, not for the offenses overall. And it's funny that the numbers look so good, but the offense was ran so poorly. I mean, he got a lot of throwing yards, but it didn't work out. This is probably not even a good episode, y'all. I'm sorry. I've been doing too much contemplating. Now I'm prepared, but I'm also just kind of dumbfounded. I just really don't understand why we would do that. Anyway, you can't win them all, and clouds get dark. So when you look at something bright, come to the silver lining. I'll try to be brighter next time. But this is a rough one. Guru out.